Yo, what's going on, people? What is happening here? I hope you guys are doing well. And it's Arsenal transfer season, man. How are
My
you
best
guys
favorite
getting on?
time of the year. Oh, love it. My favorite time of the year. It's like Christmas going on right now. Everybody's making them lists and they're checking it twice.
Yeah, it's really frustrating. It's a frustrating time for journalists and everyone like that. But for us, it's good, man, to talk about all the things that can happen, all the things that are happening. I mean,
Yeah.
we're going to go through a lot of it. I did a video a couple of days ago where I talked about some things that were happening, but we can just elaborate and get your thoughts on it at the moment now. And
Sure.
but everything's okay in Canada, yeah? What's the weather like?
It's starting to get warmer here. And everyone has told me that June, July is the time that everything gets particularly warm. So like right now, sometimes it can be chilly, but I think overall it's probably similar to England. But last year, I heard it got up to 40 degrees here. So
What?
yes, so we're talking like Vegas desert type temperatures. So I'm
Damn.
I went out and I've got a couple of fans here and a portable AC unit, like ready for those days. So yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Right, guys. So let's kick it off and talk about Serge Ginabri. Now, Serge Gnabry, this is kind of crazy, man. It's been heavily linked for a sensational return to Arsenal. And in hindsight, I think that is because everybody knows that there's an emotional tie there. Everybody
Yes.
knows that he's Arsenal through and through. And not just that, guys, but it's important to note that Gnabry's never forgotten about his roots. He's never sort of gone to some people have gone to another team and they don't talk about Arsenal at all. This guy cheers on Arsenal when they're playing in the North London derby. After they've had a great result, he's on Twitter and he's banging tunes. He's always talked about London is red. He's declared that 100 times on his Twitter. And this guy, as I said, he's scored 17 goals in 30 games. He's averaging more than a goal every other game. And when you look at that kind of productivity, we don't have that. You're talking about, Raheem Sterling and Miraz levels and Sane
Yeah.
and Salah. You're talking about those kind of levels when you're talking about goals coming from the wide angle. So if you look at Saka getting in double digits, Gnabry getting in double digits, and somebody like Nketiah or Gabriel Jesus getting in double digits, you've then start to build a potential front line that can do it all. So first of all, I mean, and listen, by no means do we know what's really going on. What we do know is that Bayern Munich are about to close in on Sadio Mane. There's a few teams in for him, but they look like that they've replaced Gnabry already. They have given him a date where to say, you've got this deadline here, you've got to agree this contract extension, otherwise we're pulling it off the table. So I believe that the Mane deal is for them to say, okay, that's it, we're done, we're selling you. And then whatever they do with Mane, they're just going to recoup the money that they've got from the Serge Gnabry deal to facilitate that move. What's your thoughts on it? I mean, I personally think that for him, he's in his prime, right? 26,
Yeah.
27, he's in his prime. For him to take a step down to the Europa League, going back to the team that he loves, I'm just not sure that he would do that.
And I would have to agree with you that like I think if he was 29, maybe even 30, and still was producing that, I think maybe we would have had a chance to sign him. But I think if we get away from the fact that he, started his career at Arsenal, at least coming from the academy, if we get away from that emotional side, I don't see that happening. I do see him actually coming to the Premier League because when you start looking at what teams could he potentially go to, because I think a lot of teams right now are pretty much stacked. And if with Mane leaving Liverpool, could Liverpool go after him? Would he be interested
No,
in Liverpool?
definitely not, because they have Jota, they have Diaz. Liverpool are flooding, they're milking with attacking
Exactly.
players.
Because they basically replaced Mane in January, bringing in the new guy.
Yeah.
So
and I did say to Tony and Bertram, I did say to them that a year ago, I said, look, at this time, Jurgen Klopp had not signed an extension. And you got all them front three players, Firmino, Salah, and Mane, in their early 30s. So with Klopp's contract running out of 2024, obviously he's signed an extension.
yeah.
You're going to have to look at that to say, look, this is the end of an era. He's been there for 7-8 years. And he can see that, look, he's had the best run. He's won Champions Leagues. He's won titles. He's done it all. He's done it all. So I think that because he's got them two players we've talked about, younger, dynamic, they can slot straight in. So you've just got this continuity going of Liverpool's front attacking line. So I think that are they going to miss him? I'm not sure. This guy won the Golden Boot along with Kane and Aubameyang. They've got guys there that can do a job. So could it be a straight swap? I'm not sure. I don't think that they'll go for Gnabry.
I kind of agree with you there in that, because they already have something there. I think the problem is that with Liverpool, like with them being so close to winning the Premier League this season, going up to the final day, like I think if they had any aspirations to kind of go up and win it, they're going to have to replace Mane with someone of similar quality. And I think Gnabry's at that level. It really just comes down to what they want to do, because you got Origi's leaving. So like they have a spot, they have two spots for an attacking player, and if they merge those two spots into one, like Gnabry will get minutes, and Klopp rotates a lot. But I completely understand what you're saying. Like I don't see him going to Chelsea or Spurs because of everything that he's come out and said. And then there's Man United, but like for me, I know everyone talks about Man United, big club, but for me, they're not an attractive option, right? So there really is only Arsenal, maybe Juventus, maybe a PSG. But with the amount of players that are out there right now, like near the end of their contract or 1 year left, I think Arsenal will naturally stumble across getting like a quality signing for us. So whether it's Gnabry, I don't know, but I definitely would love to have him back. Especially when Pepe we loan him out for the next 2 seasons. I think that'd be brilliant. He would suit us perfectly.
Tony, would you take Serge Gnabry back, or do you think he's going to come back? Because I personally, Arsenal would pull out all the stops, but as the player, I don't think that you come out of winning titles, playing in the Champions League. You've made it, right? The whole point of you leaving the club, like William Saliba, is to go and prove that you can improve to achieve a certain level. And William Saliba is on his journey and he's doing really well. But Serge Gnabry is a kind of a situation where he's done it. For the reasons he left Arsenal, he's achieved all of those things. He's gone there, he's foreseen his potential, he's reached his potential, and he's done it. Does a move back to Arsenal even work for him? I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced, Tony.
Huge step backwards, if you ask me. Huge step backwards. But this is just one of those ludicrous deals for me. I just, why I don't like transfer window, because we get bandied with every ludicrous deal, and when you look on it, you just go, well, where's the common sense in that? Why would a player come to Arsenal over a Champions League team, a league winning team?
Tony,
what money? What money?
The only reason why he would come out and sort of overvalue his devalue is because of money. We know Bayern Munich ain't going to pay him.
Yeah, but the point is, if a man really wants money, man will go to China. Yeah? If man really wants to get money, man will go to United States. Yeah? Because they will pay you stupendously. Man will go to Qatar and earn stupid tax-free dollar.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I ain't gonna have to run around and work my ass off like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But there's the addition of, jack of all trades, master of none, trying to keep everything all in one circle. I'm playing in the Premier League, the best league in the world, the most competitive league in the world.
Oh,
I'm getting paid a
who
dollar.
wants all that?
Well,
Who wants all that?
I'm putting it out there. I do agree. Look, I do agree with you, Tony.
If you're going to play for Man City or Liverpool, it makes
Yeah.
sense because I'm challenging for the league and I'm challenging for the Champions League. If
Yeah,
I ain't
they're
in
not
one
gonna
of them two teams, your offer has to really be drastic because I'm going to get loads of clubs are going to be saying to me, well, I can give you Champions League. I can give you a league challenger. I can pay you what you want. And you can be on the sunshine and you can be by the beach and you can have a free plane ride back to wherever you want to go. The incentives elsewhere are just as attractive as Arsenal.
They are, but this is your boyhood club.
You're
There's
dreaming
always
if you
that.
think that's the case, bruv. You're dreaming if you think that's the case.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not dreaming because I don't think. If it happens, I would be shocked.
How many players really go to their boyhood club? Don't forget, Tony Adams, a West Ham fan. Ray Parlour, West Ham fan. Ian Wright, Millwall fan. Yeah? Talk to me about players who have played for their dream club because it just doesn't exist, really. It's a fallacy that all my life I wanted to play for Arsenal. Yes, Jack Wilshere was an Arsenal fan. He's one of the few. But when you look at the all-time greats, you're going to find it very difficult to find a guy who was a boyhood fan of Arsenal became a boyhood legend at Arsenal.
Yeah, I see it happening. I just can't see it happening. And the only way I could see it is the incentive and the money and the drive to come back into this league, knowing that we were so close. He would be part of the equation to get Arsenal into a top four. He's not stupid. He's looked at where we were in the league. He knows that if he was probably here, playing on the left, we went the last 10 games without getting nothing from Saka, Smith-Rowe and Martinelli. He knows if he was here, he would have taken us over the line. He would have been part of that solution. Neomis, I see you desperately trying to get back in here.
Okay, see, this is the thing, right? Like Tony does have a fair point. Like, I think it's unlikely that like Gnabry would come to Arsenal, but are we really gonna, like, with the improvements that, especially Saka, and I think Martinelli's done reasonably well this season. Would you want to hold him back again another season by having him just ride the bench and Gnabry starting? And this goes because he can play both right and left, Gnabry, and up front as well. So, like, I mean, that again, like, what is the situation going to be? Is he going to start every single game 90 minutes?
So
someone will suffer.
So I tell you what, right? I've spent the last few months talking to you guys about how bad the left-hand side has been. We've got just nothing from Smith-Rowe and Martinelli. For half the season, those players were being rotated because nobody could win the battle. And in the end, he's just decided that he's got more out of Martinelli because Smith-Rowe didn't recover from that COVID case that he had. So the left side is a problem. And even though Martinelli's has some great games, if we went out and bought somebody, that person would go straight on the left. He'd slip straight in. Sorry, Tony, you're on mute.
So was the right side not also a problem when you consider that Saka only scored one open goal in the last 10 or 11 games?
Yeah, I think
a problem?
Not for me, no, because I've looked into the deeper.
The stats that you just read out about the left-hand side kind of mirror across on the right-hand side. If you look at your stats, if you played 10 games.
I think it depends what stats you're talking about. When I spent the last few evenings going through a whole plethora of like 15 attacking stats. If you guys saw my video about my player of the year, I put the post up on the 1-on-0 forum talking about Martin Odegaard and he's first in the team in literally everything. And Saka was a close second behind him in many of those phases of the game. So he's in there for more than sort of scoring goals and assists. There's a lot that Saka does creativity wise, which and the pressing and all that stuff, which is key to how we play. So I do accept your point about, and I would say, as again, the last 10 games, we got nothing out of those guys. But it's just that he does a lot more on the field than just scoring goals in terms of his creativity. And that is shown by the numbers. But I think the left-hand side is a bigger problem. I don't think the right is as big a problem, especially the fact that Saka just gives you a lot more outside of scoring goals. The left is a problem, guys. The left is a problem. And that's the reason why you look at someone like a Gabriel Jesus coming in, you're looking at the fact that you have Nketiah signing an extension now. So already you can put Jesus on the left and put Nketiah up front until you get a striker in. Those are your options right now. But I look, everyone's talking about Smith Rowe, Martinelli, Smith Rowe. Right now, if we go out and buy players in the summer, those are the first two guys I'm benching.
See, that's what I think is, that's what I don't think is going to happen. I think maybe you'll we'll buy in a player like Gnabry who can play on both sides, but I don't see us getting two wide players and getting like two strikers. Yeah, that's where I am with that.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get two strikers. I really don't. And I think if Jesus comes in, he's so versatile that he doesn't need to be playing at the point. I know he wants to. He's voiced, he's talked to his agent. His agent says, yes, Arteta at the moment, those guys are talking to him about being their top man, their front anchor man. That's why he's saying, yes, we're the move. I know Tottenham's been in for him. They talked to his agent twice, but he has no interest in Tottenham. First of all, because he knows Arteta very well. Secondly, he can't play as a main striker at Tottenham. And then he can't play on the left because that's where Song is. So both of those positions are used up. If they get Gabriel, he'll most likely be on the right, which is where he doesn't like to play. So that's not really something. Tottenham's out of the equation. Okay. But I look, Serge Gnabry, I'm giving a thumbs down. I don't think it's going to happen. I'd be surprised if the player came back here. It would be a major downgrade for him. But at the same time, I do understand that he loves Arsenal. He loves the Premier League. He knows he can help this team. He knows he can take us to the next level. Yeah? He knows he can take us to the next level. He's got the goals, the movement, the finishing. He's the finished product, guys. He's the finished product. So I'm going for a thumbs down on that one. What about you, Neomis?
Yeah, I'm also going to go for a thumbs down.
Tony, thumbs down. I hear you, Tony, man. I totally agree. Kuke says, do you honestly think we can get champion football with Arteta? And if we don't, should he be sacked? Those are very dangerous questions that you're asking, because I'm going to start with that line that we don't have the God-given right to be in the top four. As well as the teams are going to be harder to beat next season because everybody's going to improve. We have the capability. We saw that this season. Had we had a stronger squad, yes, we would have finished in the top four. But it is so competitive that the answer really from me is yes, we can get into the top four. We can get Champions League. Will we do it? I don't know. Yeah. And should Arteta be sacked if he doesn't get there? Well, I don't know. That really depends on where we finish next year. It depends on if we win the Europa League. It depends on all these different factors. But for me, we've allowed them time to build this team. If they go out this summer and they buy those strikers and they buy attacking midfielder, and if it's all set and we play the way we want to play, and we're playing good football as well, that's the key to it. If we're playing good football as well, then I think it's going to be very difficult for the board to sack him. But if we capitulate, then you're going to have to, because you've spent all this money on transfers and kids and all these players you're developing, and if this is as far as you can take them, then you have to give the keys to somebody else. That's just the natural, that's just the natural way how football is. So, guys,
can I say something?
Yeah.
So, in terms of like reviewing Mikel Arteta, you know, we say this quite often on the end of our shows. He's culpable. He's culpable for the failure of this team to make Champions League this next season coming, because of decisions to be so rigid in his playing of certain players and his non-playing of certain players. He's culpable because he weakened the team so significantly during the transfer window and laid all his eggs in one basket with one player and did not have a plan B, yeah, which any decent manager should always have. Yeah. So these are things that you have to bear in mind, saying, well, it's nice to think, well, he's on an upward trajectory. We've finished higher than we did before. We've overachieved on expectations from the start of the season in terms of league position and potentially even points. But at the same time, we've mismanaged very badly a lot of players in this team. And if we continue to do that kind of thing, yeah, and I could think of half a dozen players who could come back into the squad and could find themselves at loggerheads with Mikel Arteta and end up being next season's version of Nicola Pepe or next season's version of Matthew Guendouzi. Yeah? So what I'm saying is, next season, what players will we be saying, he should have had a run? Why didn't he give him a run? Why did we let him go on loan when we could have dealt with him? Who is he going to rely on week in, week out? Is he going to learn that, you know what, I mustn't just keep blooding these players week in and week out until they run into injury? Yeah? Does he realize with injury-prone players that you need to give them natural rest and you need to find a way to integrate other players in those positions instead of waiting till the emergency like you did with El Neni, where you didn't play him at all, and when the emergency came, let me give El Neni. And now all of a sudden, I realize El Neni can do a job for me, so let me give him extended contracts.
Well, that's $1 million question, Tony. Like, that's what it is. I mean, that's what it comes down to.
You see how much you've got to consider, though. You can't just go, it's based on results. Because I'm pretty certain every other team around us are going to do exactly what we're going to do this summer and improve. Some of them have already started, Tottenham Hotspur.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Yeah, it all comes down to the signings that we bring in. Like, if we get the signings, and for me, I've been saying this for the past 3 years, the Europa League is the best way to the Champions League. Because that top four, like, getting into
tough,
that next
man.
season.
It's tough.
I see some comments around top four in the comment section. I think that's become even more harder. And the fat question mark on that is Newcastle for me. I have no idea what
I was
they're
just about to say that, and that brings me on to the next player we're going to talk about. I'm hearing Newcastle are in for this guy as well.
I listen. I would stay away. Like, Arsenal don't do well with these big money transfers, right? The Pepe deal still aggravates the hell out of me. 70 million on a player, for me, you've got to basically do it all and have and everything.
You got to be finished article. You got to be the finished article. Yeah.
And for me, I think Osimhen is a good player. He's putting up good numbers. And if you were talking 35, maybe 40 mil for him, so almost half that amount, I'd be like, okay, he's solid.
But you can't, because they paid 68 million euros for him.
Again, they overpaid for that. No. What we did last summer with most of the players that we got, that's where we've got to be. And the teams we're competing with are the likes of Newcastle, because I think they're going to be shopping at the same place we are at, and Aston Villa. I know they didn't quite get it all fixed last summer.
This is Steven Gerrard. Remember, Steven Gerrard came halfway through the season. He didn't have a transfer window with Aston Villa. Now he has. He's got huge pulling power. Everybody's going to want to play for him.
And the fact he was able to convince Philip Coutinho, I know because he played for him, like says it all. So like there's a lot for us to do, but there is opportunity out there. Like you just have to be smart and calculated with it. And I think Mikel Arteta has done enough this past season to convince a lot of players with good potential to come to Arsenal. Maybe not the Gnabry's of this world, but he's done enough.
Yeah, because look, Kuke says we need actual strikers with presence in the box. We do. His name's Eddie Nketiah. Gnabry is right midfielder. And he never plays as a striker for Bayer. Gabriel, but that's the reason why I said that it would have to be a switch. Saka would have to switch on the left. Gnabry would be on the right, and Gabriel Jesus would be in the middle. It says, I can't see Arteta dropping Martinelli or Saka. Hard to see where Gnabry fits in here unless Arteta thinks one of them isn't good enough. Well, that's what my point was. And it's got nothing to do with not good enough. You look at, all right, let's go around the team. So you look at United, Rashford, them guys, Martial's gone on loan. Them guys couldn't get a game. You look at City, Sterling, Mahrez, them guys on the bench. They're coming in halfway through a game, because Gabriel Jesus is starting instead of them. Yeah, you look at Liverpool, Diego, Jota, Diaz, them guys, they're not starters. Yeah. They're not starters. So when I hear people talk about Martinelli and the Smith Rowe, I'm not bothered. You just leave them guys on the bench and let them come in as impact players. Because if you're going out there to spend money on solutions, then what I've seen this season from our youth players is good. It's a real good foundation, but it doesn't mean to say that it's the answer. It's the equation that will make it work. If you get a Jesus, if you get a Raheem Sterling, if you get a Gnabry, those are solutions. And that means that the development of the kids that we've got coming through, it takes the pressure off them. There was a lot of pressure on them this season to get it done. And what we need is help from veterans. Don't put that kind of pressure on these kids' shoulders.
No, but Apollo, this is where it goes back to Tony's point around the rotation. Like, I think, like, if it was another manager, then I think most people, and this is why I think what Koke is not even realizing it, like, he knows that if Arteta has those players, Arteta is riding with those players to the very end. Like, if Saka's on the bench, if Martinelli's on the bench, like, maybe they're coming in for the last 5-10 minutes of the game. They're not coming in 20 minutes before the end to maybe have an impact. Or even if those players are on a bad run of form, like, look at how much he rode with Willian when it was obvious. It's like time to rotate. Like, yeah, like, I get it. Like, that's your guy, you trust him, but like, try something different. And I think a lot of fans are worried about that because if he doesn't rotate, like, if you bring in a Gnabry or a Sterling, like, those are great players. You start them, but what's going to happen to these young guys? Because their development, like Martinelli, for me, if he has another year where he gets seriously injured or isn't playing, again, that means he's like 2 years behind where, like, he should be. And for me, I think he's had a decent season, but like, he's behind Saka, like, well behind Saka.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's had it. I would share that assessment as well. I mean, if you look at it, he's had 21 starts. He's played in 29 games in the league. He scored 6 goals and 6 assists.
Yeah, if you even when, like, because, like, I know we're going to do our seasonal review at some point. Even when you look at the minutes that he's played, like, I still would expect a little bit more than that. And I looked at Saka's minutes as well, and what his output is. Like, Saka's almost got, like, the perfect numbers, at least to be like, if he played for a top team, Saka, he'd probably be on the bench. But he's got 12 goals. He had 12 goals, 7 assists.
But it's not. It's like what I said to Tony when I talked about Odegaard's numbers. The person who was behind him in the creative stance was Saka in all levels. It's crazy how. This is what makes him a great player. Now, I put pressure on Saka. I just don't chastise him. But I want him to be this guy. Yeah, I want him to be the guy. But so coming out of it, when I was talking about player of the season and all that, Odegaard just maxed out. Have you guys seen the Odegaard stats, by the way, that I put out on the? I didn't. It wasn't on my video. It was on the back 5 video, and I had them on there. Let me see if I've got them so that I can put them. I did put them on the forum, mind you.
Yes, I saw it on the forum.
Right, okay, yeah.
I think it was from like Sky Sports.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
and it was just astonishing because it shows you that. And one guy talked to me about where he doesn't do it all the time. He doesn't show up in big games. And I took the Brighton game, for instance. I was like, we lost 2-1 against Brighton. He played through 8 chances. Ooh,
sorry.
He played through 8 through balls. They created 8 chances in that game. It's not his fault that people aren't scoring. You know, Lacazette was woeful in that game. That was the game actually that before Lacazette got dropped, because it was the Southampton game where he didn't play and Nketiah came in. So it was just like, you can't blame Odegaard for people. I mean, the amount of assists that he should be having for one of the most creative players in the league should be easily in double digits. But he doesn't have anybody in front of him who can get it done. So, but anyway, my point was Saka is a close second behind him in nearly every phase of the creative side of the game, which actually surprised me. It surprised me. It really did. So, guys, yes. So Victor Osimhen, there was a deal that was rejected. I'm not surprised it was rejected, to be honest, because that's only 8 million. Actually, no, that's not true, is it? Because they bought in for 68 million euros. So, and this is pounds. So,
Tony.
Yeah. So it's not just.
I mean, I don't get the Victor Osimhen thing. 76 million for a player who scored 14 league goals last year.
Mm.
I mean, I've literally just looked at the top 20 goal scorers in Europe, and he's clearly not even close to that list. Like, not even close. There's a bag load of midfielders who scored more than him. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, don't forget, this is a league that Bertrand would refer to as a bush league. Yeah. You know, don't forget, Tammy Abraham, first season in that league, 17 goals.
Yeah, but Tammy Abraham has played more games. I think what you have to remember, Tony, is he only had 23 starts. So 14 goals in 23 starts is pretty damn good.
Sorry about that advert.
Yeah, 14 goals in 23 starts. That's pretty good. That's pretty damn good.
Sorry. Strong player. I mean, I watched him play, but
yeah,
you know,
that's the going rate, isn't it?
If I'm paying 76, yeah,
nope.
I need to know that you can score 20 goals a season.
Yeah.
Not that you was injured. You know, this is like the old Dak Prescott situation.
Yeah.
We know Dak Prescott could win a Super Bowl, but he's going to be injured, and he's going to do some shit that you're going to go, well, yeah, that's Dak Prescott, yeah. You know what I mean?
So I'm gonna.
We know Patrick Mahomes can win you everything, the
Yeah.
whole shebang. So
Yeah.
every penny you spend, Tyreek Hill is worth every penny we spent to get him, because we know the ceiling is so high, and he's reached it. He's at the mountaintop. Hey,
so
let me give you the open checkbook.
I agree with you, because if I look at someone like Vlahovic, who was available for the same money, he was 2 years younger and way more prolific.
Way more.
Like,
you know,
way more.
Ciro Immobile scored twice as many goals.
Yeah.
You know,
and Style is saying, Cowboys fan, Dan Prescott winning the Super Bowl. Bro, he's winning the Super Bowl every year. Yeah? Dan Prescott is said to be winning the Super Bowl every year. How many years has Cowboys been the favorites?
Man, you know, he plays for Jerry's team.
Oh,
America's team. Go Cowboys!
Neomis, let me get your feeling behind Victor Osimhen.
I think we need to stay far away from this guy. I've said, I'm not into the big money transfers, because I think Arsenal just don't know how to do it right. And again, the Pepe thing just annoys me. I think it's a Pepe in disguise. He'll come here and score goals, but the expectation from Arsenal fans is 30 goals a season. They're expecting Van Persie level type Henry type, and I just don't think he'll ever hit that. And I think that I think financially there are better options out there. 76 million, we can do a lot with that. I expect that to probably be what our budget is for the whole of the summer, excluding our player sales.
No.
Yeah,
Tony hates that. Tony hates that talk. Tony doesn't deal in.
I'm being serious, Tony.
Yeah.
I'm being serious.
Yeah,
Sorry. I got to admit, I don't know where you expect we're going to make money this summer. If we make 30 million in sales, we're lucky.
The target is 60 million in sales. That's the target.
No. William Saliba will probably be sold.
It may look like that now. I mean, today we heard Marseille is trying to scrounge around the money to get him because, hold on a second,
35 mil should be at least what we should get for William Saliba. At least. 2 years left. Just made the France squad.
I don't have it with me, but what happened is last week Marseille put in a deference for their transfer ban, and it looks like UEFA are going to give them leeway this summer and allow them to spend some money, and then the ban starts from next year. It's not confirmed, but that's what's going on. So
Unbelievable.
So the president said he's trying to get money together to purchase the player.
What an absolute sham of a mockery.
Yeah.
I mean, just take.
Yeah, it is disappointing. But, I gave up on Saliba a long time ago. Last summer, I told you, Tony, he'll never play for Arsenal.
Yeah.
So I made my peace with that a long time ago. It doesn't shock me. But I do know the target is to bring in 60 million from player sales. That's the target they've been given.
That's more than possible.
Oh yeah.
Maitland-Niles I've heard is 8 million. Bellerin is probably going to be like 8 to 10. Saliba, I just finished saying 35. Who else? Pablo Mari.
So negotiating departures, you're looking at Bellerin. You're looking at Torreira. Torreira's deal's 12.5 million. Leno's is 8.5 million. Maitland-Niles is going to be 20 million. Pablo Mari, that's probably going to be around 10 million. You're already talking there 20, 41, 51. Yeah, that's 60 straight away.
Plus Saliba.
But that's not even including Saliba.
Did you count Guendouzi? Are we getting any money for Guendouzi?
Yeah, that's not even including the money for Guendouzi has already been sorted out. That's not including his money as well. So that's 70 million.
We should have, honestly, we should have about 150 mil, including player sales, including what the club is going to give Arteta, as well as to go out and try it again, and push us further forward. So and if Arsenal are smart with it, you mix some freebies with that too, and there's that. We could do something.
Because Florentina are desperate for Lucas Torreira at the moment. Can't
afford him, can they?
They can't. No, they can't. It's happening. So Real Betis can't afford Bellerin. They can't afford him. Stuttgart was moaning about Mavropanos. Yeah. It's just
and that's the problem. I understand what you're saying about these valuations, but quite frankly, I can't see us making that money when teams can't even make that kind of money. They're falling over themselves to afford 10 and 20 million, and they're trying to buy, in Marks and Spencers where it's 35 million plus.
Yeah. I mean, so we're looking to offload 9 players still. So I know 21 players went over the last 18 months, but there's still room for another 9 players to be leaving. Guys, let's talk about a cheaper option who came out this week. I made a video. I talked about this a couple of days ago. Richarlison has told Frank Lampard that on the 20th of June, he's going to tell him his decision. Now, that is a date where players are allowed to your actual yearly contract runs out. So after that date, you're essentially either a free agent or you can go and sign. You've got 1 year left and you can go and sign with another team. So it seems like he's leaving. Otherwise, he wouldn't even be talking about that date. If he was staying, he wouldn't be saying anything about the 20th of June. Now, although he's broken his silence over that, I'm just not a fan. I mean, look, it's not difficult to let you two know my stance on this. Yeah, I have a very simple stance. If you're going to bring a player in here that's not even going to give you what Nketiah can give you, you're wasting your time. And part of me will understand that if we're going to keep Nketiah and pay him, he has to be an option. Because he's got a great strike rate, he gets goals, but it's not just the goals. He works the hardest I've seen almost any striker in this league. What he does off the ball, honestly, tell me which striker works as hard as he does off the ball. I don't know if there is one. I look around the league, the way he runs back, the amount of kilometers he runs, on average for the time he's played, is the third highest in the team. That's per 90 minutes. Yeah, only Odegaard and Saka are running more than this guy, but he's a striker. So if you bring in, you're talking about these names, you bring in, they're not going to give you what Eddie's going to give you. You've lost a defensive part of the game, which you'll never get back. And not to mention his goal rate. Yeah? What is it now? He started 38 games for Arsenal and scored 26 goals. 26 goals in 38 starts. The numbers speak for themselves. All Eddie does is score goals. So, Richarlison, Neomis, thumbs up or thumbs down?
Thumbs down. I said this in the Facebook group. Like, I genuinely think if Eddie is staying, you need to sign someone that complements Eddie, because he's getting paid like 120 grand a week or something like that.
Who's that?
Eddie Nketiah. Is that the offer?
It would be 100 grand, but that's including incentives.
Okay, 100 grand a week. Like, Eddie clearly will be either a backup if he's not starting. And I just, like, is Richarlison really that much better than him? And for me, I think that you need to bring in someone that complements what Eddie can't do. Obviously you want to bring in someone that also scores goals. I think that's paramount. We need more goal scorers. But for me, I think we need height. I think we need strength, like in there, in our forward line. So I wouldn't go for a Richarlison type. I think he's, and I don't think Arteta would be able to deal with him. Like, I just Googled him. Like, supposedly he threw a smoke bomb in an Everton game. I think one of the last games of the season. Could you imagine that behavior under Arteta?
But you can't.
That's Guendouzi in a disguise right there.
Did you see it? All he did was clear the pitch of a smoke.
It don't matter.
No,
he ain't gonna apologize.
You're blowing something out of proportion. He did nothing wrong. He didn't throw it into the crowd. He moved it from on the pitch to off the pitch. It was nothing dangerous. It really was the most innocuous thing, and deserves no reprimand at all.
So, guys, for me, it's just simple for me. 10 goals in 28 games. If you go back to not last season, the season before, when Aubameyang was struggling with his mum and malaria and all that stuff, that was exactly what Aubameyang did for Arsenal. 10 goals, 28 starts. Nicolas Pepe, by the way, 10 goals, 16 Premier League starts in that season. I just don't think that he's prolific enough.
And I agree with you. Like, he gets a goal every 250 minutes. Like, that's not good enough.
Yeah. And Nketiah's averaging a goal every 110 minutes. Which is by far puts him top of the chain, man. Puts him top of the chain. And that's what my frustration is, guys. My frustration is, if you come to bring me a striker, he's got to be better than Eddie Nketiah. He's got to do the things that Eddie are doing. Yeah? That makes a difference to this team. So someone like a Gabriel Jesus, I like what he can do. Because I've seen him do what he does with the best team in this country. I've seen it. So you're proven, you're there. I'll take it. 94 goals in 230 games, Gabriel Jesus. So I tell you, the writing's there on the wall. You done it, mate. Welcome. Come on in. Come through the gates. There's a space for you in our team. But Richarlison, not clinical enough.
Yeah.
Tony, is that a thumbs down from you as well?
Massive thumbs down.
Excellent. Mr. Bungle, what's going on, man? Good. I ain't seen you in a while, bro. Maybe a lot of it is because I don't sort of live stream as much as I should do these days, but I'm trying to fix that. I'm trying to get back on the tip. Just trying to keep you guys busy with videos in the day because I'm just so busy at the moment. But yeah, Richarlison, it doesn't. Yeah, I'm not too sure if that's going to work out for me at the moment. Guys, what's your thoughts on Tielemans?
I like Tielemans as a player. Like I really do. I've been a fan of his last couple seasons, to be really honest. And I know this season has been a bit shaky, but he's at a great age. It'd be a good player for us to bring in. And he would be a brilliant upgrade on Granit Xhaka, especially if we're going to play like a 4-3-3, for him to be like one of the eights coming in from midfield, driving forward. I guess the question is, what are the chances for Arsenal signing him? I think right now it's reasonable, but I don't think that we're like top of that list. I think once all the Champions League options are gone.
They're gone. They're gone. They're officially gone. I can tell you that for starters. They're gone.
Oh, okay. Then I think that makes us one of the favourite. Unless then it'll be really between us and like a Man United, as I would say, or any other Europa League level team.
Yeah, as far as we're front runners at the moment, but there are quite a few teams involved. Me personally, before I go to Tony, I think that Tielemans. I like goals. I like assists. He was part of 10 goals this season. As I said in my video this week, Jacques has been a part of 10 goals for the last 3 seasons. And this guy accounted for 10 goals in just last season alone. So that tells you how much of an impact he would make in the number 8 role in the midfield. But I think I think he'll be fine as long as the team is compact. Because Leicester run a very rigid style, guys. They run a 4-4-2. It's not if they don't have Ndidi in their team, it exposes him and puts him in situations that you don't really get the best out of him. So when I hear Tony and Bertram talk about him, it's situational. There's times where he just looks like a fantastic player. But imagine Thomas Partey not being in our team and how it impacts the rest of our players. It exposes them because Partey does so much as an Arsenal player. And the same applies to this guy. So I really like what he can do, man. I really like what he can do. I'm all about product. That's me. If you can do something, come through the door. I welcome you. And what I won't have is these guys that we've had in the midfield, and I'm not going to pour on Thomas Partey because Thomas Partey is a brick wall. He's the invisible wall. He does a defensive job. So if he doesn't score, Thomas Partey is doing other things like linking up with Odegaard. We all know that Odegaard link, don't we? Ball comes out from the back, goes to Partey. He distributes the ball to Odegaard. Odegaard then starts to flashing out, and that's Arsenal's game. But Partey is a big importance to our transitional play. Where my problem is other players in the midfield around him where you have 1 goal and 2 assists throughout a whole season. We can't have that, man. You need to get some production out of these guys. You need to get something out of these guys because other guys like Tielemans, Ruben Neves, and all them guys, you're getting, and Basuma, you're getting more out of them guys. You're getting way more out of them guys. So you can't be someone in Arsenal and say you're sitting in this position here, and I'm not mentioning any names, but you can't be a guy in Arsenal in our midfield where you're just not having any impact on the game. You can't. You just can't. You might. That's why you're a Europa team, because you haven't got elite level players in elite positions. So you fix that, and then you start to change your results. You start to change all the little things. Tony, Tielemans for you?
Sorry, my friend, not for me. Not for me. You're replacing a mediocre player with a above average player. You know, you're trying to get top floor. You're trying to compete in the Champions League, and you're talking about above average players. Sorry, my friend. You know, when you look at Thomas Partey and you go, wow, that was a deal. Then you look at who's my boy? Takahiro. What's his name?
Tomiyasu.
Tomiyasu, that's it. You know, I go, wow, what an improvement in that position. Those are the kind of players that you go, we could go to the Champions League with that player. Yeah. And as much as I think El Neni had an absolutely amazing finish to the season, I can't go to the Champions League with El Neni. I'm sorry. Yeah. I can't. And that's what we're talking about. If I'm going to be competing to try and A, get in the competition, and B, stay in the competition, and I know I'm not trying to win the league, I'm just trying to say, you know what, I want to get top 4, and I want to still remain in the competition beyond the group stage, so I can earn some decent corn, so that the following seasons I can improve again. And Tielemans, to me, is like, well, yeah, you improved on Xhaka, but I think
So
you can
Tony,
do so much better.
so this is where, you know, I share a lot of your frustrations, but I know within myself, Tony, that when you're building, you have to pick and choose where you get your wins. Yeah, we cannot get a win in the midfield. You know why? Because we need a win at a striker position.
So once again, Apollo, I have to disagree with you, because that particular position is one of the most easily filled positions. Literally, I can go anywhere in the up and down the country, this country. I can go to Scotland, I can go to Wales, I can go to Ireland, I can go to France, Belgium, Spain, blah, 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 and find you a plethora of players who play in a similar position who will offer me better than Tielemans. So I know when we talk about strikers, yeah, and the elite strikers, yeah, there's 15, 20 at tops. I'm going to say there's 15 because I actually looked at who scored over 20 goals in Europe. Yeah. And some of them men are playing in Bush League. Yeah. But there's like 15 elite strikers in Europe, which if you got one of them, geez, hang on to that.
Yeah, it's like quarterback.
But when you look at other parts of the pitch, like that position, pivot man, yeah, I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of players that can fit that role.
Yeah, see, I'm not so sure. I've heard you say this before, but I'm not so sure because, and it's not just the quality of the Premier League.
Okay. Spurs just went out in January transfer window and bought a second string. They didn't buy their first string. They bought their second string midfielder. Yeah. Bentancur. He wasn't the first string at Juventus. He was their second string.
Yeah. I think you should use.
Still came in and did a job.
Yeah, I think you should use El Nene. I think you should use El Nene as a reference because he's right here. You know, he's right home. I think the way how he's come in and just really outplayed Xhaka since he's come here. Not giving the ball away, look tidy, just look so much progressive. You put a little bit more in front of him. You know, it's funny how he's shining with Nketiah in the team as well. There was a game, I think it was against Leeds, where you remember when he hit Nketiah on that 60-yard pass. Oh, my word. What a ball from El Nene. But it's just like, he's probably your point. My issue is there might be a lot of these players around, but they're not going to cost you 25 million.
Well, it depends where you go. How much was Bentancur?
He's
But
alone.
yeah, but Tony, if you gave your option to the majority of our fan base, they won't go for it. They want big time players to play to get you into big time Champions League. They won't settle for enough. You couldn't say you just the fans won't go for it, Tony.
Okay, last season, last summer, there was so much conjecture about a certain player by the name of James Madison.
Still
Now,
quality.
why are we not talking about Madison?
He's elite.
Yeah,
why are we not talking about Madison?
Because he's 80 million. Who's got 80 million to spend on Madison? He's 80 million, Tony. There's nobody going to pay 80 million for him.
And how much is Tielemans?
Tielemans has a clause in his contract because of how his contract was developed and written. So he has a 25 million clause in his contract. Otherwise, Tielemans is a 50 million pound player.
He's a good player.
He's a good player, exactly. That's what I'm saying. But you got to think about, like, our fans won't go for a John Barnes, yeah, or I can't say John Barnes because that sounds silly. Let's say Cliff Barnes, yeah. Our fans won't go for a Cliff Barnes or a John Walker, yeah. Our fans won't go for that because look, our fans are talking about Usiham. They're talking about Alexander Isak. They're talking about, you know, big 80, 70 million pound players. That's the expectations from the fans. That's what they want. Fans want the big, you know, kahunas. That's what they want. So they won't settle for any of these Bush League players. They just won't. Look how much they hated El Nene. Even when El Nene was playing well, they were still like, yeah, not Arsenal quality. That's our fans. So I think you've got to look at someone who can come in, do a job. Again, Ruben Neves is exactly the type we're talking about, but he's going to cost you money. He's going to cost you 40, 50 million. And what he done defensively for that team was phenomenal. It was absolutely phenomenal. Kuke says Tielemans and Neves, the question should be who's the better offensively? And what's important to us? I think defensively is important to us as well. I think Neves is a better defensive player than Tielemans.
Yeah, I mean, they're two different types of players. Like for me, Neves is like a 6, and I mean he's even played at DM. Whilst I think Tielemans is more of an 8, maybe an 8. Like he even can play at the 10 at sometimes. Like for me, Tielemans is definitely more attacking, more creative, whilst Neves is more defensive. I mean, both will give you goals. It's just that no one's ever really asked Neves to play further forward.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay,
I mean,
can I give you another name? That last year, Arsenal fans were in uproar that this player was going to come to Arsenal, and it was like so exciting. Oh my God!
I know who
and
it
it
is.
all came quiet. Who am I going to say?
Husam Awa.
No.
Oh.
Jorginho.
Oh, this guy. Oh.
Look, I'm not going to say nothing because I actually think he's a quality player.
No, he's Xhaka in disguise.
Yeah.
Are you mad? Jorginho, the European champion.
Yeah,
he got all first team in the European champions. He just
did you see it? Did you watch the Euros, my friend?
No,
Yeah.
no. Leave him at Chelsea.
I can see. Do you know what, Tony? I can see what Arteta's looking at when he's mentioning his name. I can see where he's coming from.
I could probably go through a whole bunch of teams and find you a player who's going to be, you know, it's really funny because, again, if I went back maybe just a little bit more than 12 months, the player that we were linked with who should have come to Arsenal out of Leicester, ahead of Tielemans, who wasn't in the picture at the time, was a certain Wilfred Ndidi.
Yeah, I'd have taken Ndidi.
I'll take it. I'll
Especially,
take him as well.
especially yeah. Indeed, is a good. Good
I mean, I'm literally just thinking off the and you say to me it's difficult to find. I'm telling
but
you,
indeed,
they're a dime a dozen.
They're not, Tony. How much is Indeed going to cost? Indeed is going to cost you 50 million. He's going to cost you 50 million.
So Ndidi, Tielemans, and Madison all reside in what team? Leicester. And you're saying they're difficult to find. But Leicester have got 3 of them.
But Tony, you're talking monies, man. 50 million for Ndidi.
Okay. So what you need to do is you want to get. All right, let's just say we want James Madison. What do Leicester need? They need a right back. Okay, Leicester, let's talk a deal. We'll give you Cedric and the 35 million, and we'll have James Madison.
That's not enough. Come on.
I don't know. What do you want? Let's do a deal. Let's carve this up, because this is the problem with a lot of times in transfer windows. Remember, there have been some absolutely atrocious deals done by Arsenal in the past. The one that gets me,
but there's been some amazing ones as well, Tony.
The one that gets me to this day was letting Cesc Fabregas go to Barcelona and not getting Alcantara in the return. Yeah. Because I was shouting it to the rafters. Yeah. Get Alcantara. The kid is literally sitting in the second team, youth team, and he's genius on the ball. Get him now.
Do you know one of my most favorite deals of recent late is not buying Madison and using that 70 million to get Odegaard, Ramsdale, and Tomiyasu. Yeah, that's my Madison deal. So when I said to Arsenal fans last summer, I'm pulling out on the Madison deal. This is 2 weeks before we bought in Odegaard, by the way. I said, I'm not doing it. 70 million. No, I'm not doing it. And this is the reason, for that reason as well, why I'm saying use your money on a striker. Use the bulk of your money on a big man.
Let's be honest. Who won when we let Giroud go to Chelsea and we got Aubameyang? Chelsea won that deal.
Yeah.
Chelsea won that deal. I'm sorry. Aubameyang loved him for them first 2 seasons, but let's be honest. Giroud won the fucking Champions League with Chelsea and he scored in the final.
Yeah.
Chelsea won that deal. And now today, when we're looking at saying the archetypal player that we want at Arsenal up front, Olivier Giroud, right? Big man, target man.
Yes.
I wouldn't say that.
Scores goals.
Yeah.
Over his head. Does scorpion kicks. What a raw sword, boy. This boy can score all kind of balls.
Yeah, no, you don't see a Giroud at Liverpool, Man City, and Chelsea.
Apollo, Man City have just gotten Haaland, who is built like Giroud, but has got pace.
Yeah, they have, but he's Sergio Aguero, mate.
Yeah, he ain't Aguero, but he's hard.
That's what I'm saying. That's the prototypical. I see these top teams now. They don't have that big man.
Imagine Saka and Martinelli with Giroud up front.
Oh, that's it.
That's Sanchez and Walcott. That's basically Sanchez and Walcott
that's right,
to the left and the right.
Yeah.
But the difference is Sanchez and Walcott were scoring 20 goals each themselves. So
because they had Giroud up front. Giroud is responsible for those guys' success.
Yeah, well,
Walcott literally lived off of the food that Giroud gave him.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case for Walcott, but I don't hold Giroud in that high esteem. I wouldn't say that he's responsible for those. But I see what you mean, though.
Tell me, what did Eden Hazard say about Giroud?
That when he was at Chelsea, he said that Giroud is favorite striker to play with because all he did in that Chelsea side was set him up. I don't know if he was told to, but that's all he did with those wide players is flick on, set them up, like hardly ever tried to score.
And he just won a title with AC. He just won a title with AC Milan.
Won Serie A. won Serie A with AC Milan, 35 years old, Champions League, Europa League, Premier League, FA Cup, Serie A.
Third highest goal scorer in France. World Cup winner.
World Cup winner. But like,
I think, you know, you really want to talk down a guy, and we're gonna go, oh, but he's old. Karim Benzema is old. Cristiano Ronaldo is old. Lionel Messi is old. So this age thing really ain't a thing anymore.
Yeah, not for Arsenal, not for where we are at the moment now. All right, guys, listen. Gabriel Martinelli.
Right, what's the question? And we bought him already.
No, Juventus talking about putting in a bid for him.
No, go away,
Take
Juventus.
him. Take him.
No!
Yeah,
No!
No, seriously, take him.
No, we don't.
No.
We keep him.
I'm gonna tell you right now. There's only. Let me work this out. There's only really one player I wouldn't sell right now.
Who's that?
For me personally, it's Thomas Partey.
Oh my God.
I would sell
Oh my
everybody
God.
else in that team.
Bertram said the same thing. Bertram said the same thing. There's not anybody on this team.
Nobody else on this
is
team.
safe.
I wouldn't sell.
I can't believe I can't believe what I'm hearing. Gabriel, Tomiyasu, like Tomiyasu.
What are you saying about Tomiyasu?
He's not going anywhere. I don't care what bid. Like Gabriel as well. Like I've heard Juventus are also interested in him. He ain't going. We better not sell him.
Listen, Gabriel, for me, is far more important to Arsenal than Martinelli.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, he is. Of course, he's our best defender.
Yeah,
I
but
agree.
he's still sellable to me because if we could get the money, and I mean sizable money, I'm talking like between 80 and 100 million, and we could bring back Saliba and drop him in.
Okay, all right. Yeah. All right.
If we got an 80 million bid for Martinelli, I would sell him.
Oh yeah, if we got 80 mil, but I don't think they're gonna offer 80 mil. I think they're gonna
That's
offer
how much
like,
he's worth. Well, yeah, that's how much he's worth.
I honestly would take 50
Yeah,
because apparently this kid Marquinhos is lightning. So we're gonna have this kid is lightning.
I'll believe it when I see
to
it.
the next Lionel Messi, is it, or Neymar? You know, he looks mustard. So
I've got to wait until I see him play in the Premier League before I hear
what you're saying.
Yeah, I've seen some of his games, but I want to see. I want to see transferable skills.
Yeah.
In this league, look, I'm a big fan of Martinelli. I know that African Guna loves the player, but look, man, I love this first season. I said his second season was a flop, and a lot of that had to do with injuries. And I came out and said this season he needs to show me vast improvements, and sometimes he has, but I've been left at the end of the season feeling kind of, well, did he really do it for me or did he not do it for me? And I'm not so sure. I think he did okay. I think one of you guys said that as well. He did okay.
Yeah.
He's still young though. He's still young.
No, but this is why I don't think that we should sell him yet. Like, listen, if he's like 23 in a couple of years' time and he's still putting out the numbers, great, sell him. Like, no problem. Thanks for everything, but time to move on. But he's only 19 going on 20 now?
He's 20.
He's 20.
Yeah, he's 20.
Like 20 years old. What he did,
June. This month. This month he'll be 21. 21 in this month.
21. Okay.
Yeah,
I think
21 this month.
What he's done now for his age, I think is pretty much okay. And you can't compare him to Saka because for me, I think Saka when he hits his prime is going to be like top drawer, like one of the best in the world in his position. But Martinelli, I think will be a very good player eventually.
6 goals, 6 assists, and 21 starts.
Look at how much minutes he's played. 2,100 minutes. That he's played. Like it's not bad. It's okay.
Yeah, I need to see him develop. I need to see more. Because there's times where he physically showed me Oxlade-Chamberlain levels, so much skill.
Yeah.
But then not enough end product. You know.
Yes, and that's his biggest problem.
Yeah. When I saw this guy, I thought, man, this guy can do everything. He can score goals, he can create and everything. And then when he finally got a run in the team, I didn't see the goals. I saw him dominating players on the wing. I just didn't see anything happening after that. His final ball.
Nutmegs are us.
Yeah, his final ball. I was just like, where's the end product with him? And that's kind of where I am with him at the moment. I need to see more end product.
He did play with Lacazette, though. Let's not forget that. That was a kind of...
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Leave Lacazette alone, man. Just wish the guy good luck and go back home to Lyon, man. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, I think that's probably it for me. So we're pretty much wrapping up now on everything, but Arteta did say the target for us this summer is going to be 2 strikers, central midfielder, and a fullback. I think that's changed now to 1 striker.
Great. I completely agree with that.
2 midfielders and a fullback. I think it's changed to 1 striker and 2 midfielders. An attacking midfielder and a central midfielder, and then a fullback. That's
well,
what I think we
obviously,
need.
if Nketiah signs, that's one of your 2 strikers.
Yeah, because that's what it is. And I know, like, I've heard online, like, a lot of people, like, don't like that. But come on,
don't worry about them people, man. Because when he was balling out, then people weren't saying nothing.
You know, like...
When Nketiah was balling out, man, the only person that came up and said something was Bertrand. Bertrand came up and said, your boy's getting it done, man. Thank you, Bertrand. Much appreciated, my brother. Everybody else was just like, these are the people that saying he's not Arsenal quality. He's never got it done. When I put in before he got the run in the game, he had scored 20 goals in 31 starts. When I put that stat up, then people didn't know what to do with themselves. It was almost like they just twist up, because in their mind, when he plays, he doesn't do anything, which can't be far from the truth, because the stats say that when you start him and he plays throughout a game, because the guy was averaging a goal every 71 minutes. So why are you playing him for 6 or 7 minutes at the end of every game? If I'm averaging a goal every 71 minutes and you're putting me on today with 6 minutes to go, what do you expect me to? And somebody made a point last week about Smith Rowe was scoring late when he came on as a super sub. There was 4 games that he came in and he scored right at the end of the game. Like, that was great, but nobody does that in the league. That was in the first part of the season. Was Smith Rowe doing that in 2022? No, he wasn't. It was Joe Willock scored 8 goals in 8 starts. Yeah, and they put him instead of a number 8. They played him at a number 6 for half the season, and the goals just dried up. Those things are an anomaly. For me, I'm not sold on that. I'm not sold on it at all, man. But I think you go for a striker, and you go for an attacking midfielder who can add goals as well, who could probably play as a striker as well. And then you go and get a central midfielder, and you definitely get a fullback. I like the look at this kid, guys. Aaron Hickey, Lord, this guy is a baller. This guy is rough.
I haven't seen him play, but I know we're heavily linked with him.
He's right. He's in the Nacho Monreal type thing. Okay. The guy is solid, man. He's solid everywhere. I like his defensive angles. I like everything about this guy's game, man. He's so mature for his age. I like him. If they bring in this guy, 21 million, this deal would be. That would be a steal.
Fair deal. I like that.
That would be a steal if they get this guy. If they get this guy in. Right, guys. Any closing comments? Any expectations?
Straight
Tony,
clear.
yours is William Saliba.
No, I'm not. I have, as I said, I literally hate this time of the year because it just brings so much anguish and
Frustration.
But
what would you want to happen to William Saliba this year?
Well, clearly, I would want him to be playing for Arsenal this year coming up. I want him to play. I want them to find a way to make him play because I believe he can do a great job for Arsenal. To the point that I'm so impressed by him, I think he starts ahead of one of the two current centre-backs until he loses form. Because you've got to ask yourself, we couldn't keep a clean sheet at the end of the season. So I'm not saying rip up that sheet because we had a lot of clean sheets, but let's be honest, we were heading towards a season of really good numbers of clean sheets and low number of goals conceded, and then it just fell apart, and our defense capitulated. Yeah, so I'm sorry, that defense now needs a redraw. Someone has to come out and someone has to go in.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far. My opinion would be you lose Tierney, Tomiyasu's injuries, you lose Partey, and you're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel it at the defensive end. So that is when all those pieces come back, I expect that level to return. But so I wouldn't go that far, Tony. But I do understand your frustration. Maybe you're right. I don't know. But just my opinion is that if any team loses their left back, their right back, their defensive midfielder, they're going to start leaking goals. Look what happened when Liverpool lost one player in Van Dijk. Their whole defense fell to pieces. And as soon as he came back, then he was fit. Look at the results. So I think the injury plays a big part. I think it plays a big part. And I think the defense will be back stronger. But it all depends on Thomas Partey, man.
Wow, interesting stat I'm just reading. Players under 21 years of age or younger with the most minutes in the top 5 leagues in 2021 were number 1, William Saliba, 3,240. Number 2, Mark Gahey of Crystal Palace, 3,223. Number 3, Bukayo Saka, 2,991. Number 5, 2 places down, Aaron Hickey.
So the only thing I can really say on that is you can see why Marseille's president wants to sign him so badly. They're going into the Champions League. They finish runners-up. You take William Saliba out of that team and Marseille ain't getting nothing done.
Arsenal are going to sell. Like, I know Arteta wants to keep him, but like, if he doesn't sign a new deal in the summer, like, you have to sell him. And for me, he's our greatest single selling asset. And we can do a lot with that. You know, we can, yeah. I know we're linked with Aaron Hickey. I just realized that he's also a left back, which questions around Tavares and what's going to happen with him. Like, are we going to sell him? Like, is he going to get demoted to third choice? Because for me, I hope you all know that means that like his Arsenal career basically is over because he won't get any games.
Yeah, I think so. Either that or they'll just convert him to right back and they'll back up Tomiyasu. Because remember, I said to you guys before, he played 6 games for Benfica at right back. He played 2 games for us at right back.
Well, you know what I would instead? Maybe if Saliba goes, you put Gabriel and Tomiyasu at centre back because Tomiyasu plays for centre back for Japan. Move Key on to the. Okay, that's okay. All right, yeah. I'm down with that.
Yeah, it might be. There's ways because remember as well, we're sitting here talking about this stuff, but we all understand that when you play in Europe, you need 2 players at every position.
Yeah. No, got it. Yeah.
So okay. There's that we got to think about as well. All right, guys. Anything else from you guys, Neil Miss?
No, I see we are also linked with a couple other players at Bologna, some of their midfielders as well. Interesting enough, both players, 25 and 23, both are in that kind of Thomas Partey mode. They're both central midfielders, but they can play further forwards. I saw that as well. So we're definitely going to get at least one midfielder, if not two. But I expect Arsenal to do some business. But for me, the biggest thing is getting a striker. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm open to it all. Tony mentioned Olivier Giroud. Like, I'd be happy to bring Giroud back for a season because he can't play 90, he can't play 2 games a week. So Eddie's gonna be the guy that we'll go with. And if Giroud's right there playing backup, I don't mind. But
look, I mean, what happened to the good old days? You know, we used to play Ian Wright up front, and occasionally you'd go, you know what, we need to swap Ian Wright with Alan Smith. Sometimes you play them both together. Yeah, when we played the 4-4-2 formation, it's Alan Smith, Ian Wright. But let's be honest, or Kevin Campbell, Ian Wright. But it was clearly you had a big man, little man situation. Yeah, and in any situation, Eddie is always going to be a little man, just like Lacazette was.
Yeah,
you occasionally need to be able to throw something at the box and go, just get the ball in the box.
Yeah,
because I need someone who can head the ball in the net. I love that Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli can run rings around their wingers. There's wing backs, but they don't always have to be looking inside and where, you know what I mean? When sometimes you just think, you know what? Get me somebody who can get on the end of a cross.
Victor Osimhen.
No. I have a suggestion. What about your boy that I've constantly keep bringing up at Liverpool, Divock Origi?
I'd take Origi in a heartbeat.
I've always said it. I'd
take him in a heartbeat.
It's done.
I've been
I'd take him in a
about
heartbeat.
this guy all year.
Me too, man. Me too. And it frustrates Neil because Neil don't want him to leave, but he's going anyway.
Quality.
And the thing is, he scored goals this season despite the fact that he gets so few minutes.
Yeah. I think he's only got like 800 minutes. Not the whole season. His whole Liverpool career, across 5 years, he's only got about 3,000 minutes for the past 5 years.
Wow.
He's 25, but his game time is equivalent of like a 21-year-old.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. He's just waiting to land the spot, isn't it? That's why he's leaving Liverpool.
Yeah.
I hope we're interested in him.
I would take him at the drop of a hat.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And the thing, and he's come from that school of Klopp. You know, he's used to all them guys.
There you go.
Come in, do a job. He knows the expectations, mate.
Yeah,
he knows the expectations, man. All right, so guys, when are we gonna do this Arsenal season review? Could do it sometime this weekend.
I work on the weekends, but if any of you are around this time, Tuesdays and Thursdays are like best for me.
Tuesdays definitely not, because I'm on my own show on Tuesdays. Thursdays generally not a good day for me because I'm doing after school classes. So yeah.
So Neil, miss, when on the weekends are you free? What time? 10 a.m. Sorry, 10 p.m., 11 p.m.
I guess I could probably do like 8, 9, depending on how long the show go. No, let's do like 8 p.m. your time, because that's like midday. Because what'll happen, and let's maybe do it on the Saturday, because then right afterwards I'll go to work, because I work from 3 to 11.
Oh, okay.
On Saturdays. So like generally, and I finish late Fridays from school, so I end up waking up at like 11, which is like 7 p.m. your time. So let's do it like 8 p.m. your time on like next week Saturday should be good.
Okay, so not this weekend, the weekend after.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I could even do it this weekend, but like to give everybody time to prepare, like let's do it next weekend.
Yeah. Zach, I forgot to. Sorry, Zach, I forgot about that. Bertram, how you doing? I hope you're doing okay. Bertrand saying Tony is 2022. And Bertrand saying to Neil Miss, leave the job and join the panel. Now we'll get something sorted out on Saturday, 8 o'clock. And it will give us time to kind of really review what we thought of each player in the team this season. We ain't got much to choose from because the squad is thin.
Yeah.
So, it'd be very, I'll make sure that we do it by panel. We'll go goalkeeper, defenders, midfield, and attackers. Yeah, to kind of speed it up.
It's interesting, actually, when I think about it, we didn't talk about following Balogun for next season.
Loan.
All right. Yeah, I gave you my thoughts on that last week, and I'll say it again. I thought he had an okay season. I didn't think he was playing at the level where I would say like William Saliba. Yeah, he needs to put in a William Saliba kind of loan for me to say, wow, I can't wait for that player to come back to Arsenal. Ain't nobody saying that.
Can I just tell you, in case you don't know it, he's currently training with the full England team. He's one of 4 players from the under 21s following Balogun.
He's playing for America now. What are you talking about? He said he's going to be playing for America.
No, he's playing. He's currently. I saw it today. He's training with England.
What?
Let me check the date on this thing.
I thought Balogun. I thought he signed over to say he's going to play for the USA. Hold on a second. Arsenal striker Balogun.
I've got it. It might be old.
Switches allegiance.
Maybe it. Okay, I must have got an old article.
Yeah, I'm sure he's playing for the USA now.
No. I knew it was new.
England or USA.
2 days ago, Charlie Watts quoted, "Following Balogun, got the opportunity to train with the senior England squad."
Train with them.
He's one of 4 members of the under 21 England squad, called up by Gareth Southgate.
They're trying not to prevent him to go and fully get converted to the US. That's what that is.
Right. So remember 2 months ago, Tony, I said to you and Bertram, he's come out and made the statement that he's decided to choose to play with the USA. So it seems like what Neil Miss has just said is that they're trying their hardest for him not to go. Because remember, Nketiah 3 weeks ago said he's going to play for Ghana.
Yeah.
So they're trying to stop these young black players from going to all these countries. And Bertram, how comes you're not helping them go to Jamaica, man? They must have some West Indian roots down the back of them. Bertrand says England trying to prevent other countries to source it. Yeah. That's what they're trying to do. Because
kind of makes sense, though.
It does, but because all them countries are African nations, they're all in contact with these players.
Yeah.
They're all in contact with these players. I'm surprised with that, Tony. I really am. Because in March.
He's there. He's there. He's there with the England under 20, the England full team currently.
Wow.
They're trying to convince him. Because I mean, you got Smith Rowe there, you got Saka there, I get it, but go play for America. USA.
Yeah. That was in March, so I don't know what's happened since then. And the fact is, he hasn't played a game for them yet, so the FA know that they can still convince him.
Yeah,
I'm going to keep my eye on that one, man, because that's a big U-turn. That's a
what
big.
Do you mean he hasn't played a game for them? He scored for them.
America.
Oh, right. I thought,
yeah.
I was going to say.
So March he came out with the statement. I'm looking at it now.
Yeah,
and it's Dan Critchlow, who I know very well. He's at the Daily Cannon, by the way. Daily Cannon Arsenal's site. He's published it. John Cross has published it. James Benn just published it. So he did come out and make the statement in an interview, but all that's done is pushed the England scouts to try and convince him to stay and play for the national team.
What better way than saying, "Come play with the first team"?
Wow, that's crazy. All right, guys, that's enough from us, man. Before I go, Bertram says there is a war for talent in England. Will struggle to keep some of this talent, but yeah, because they can't keep them all. You look at the England team now. Look at the midfield. Look at you got guys like Smith Rowe, Mason Mount. You know, all these guys like are struggling to get into the team. Foden. There's no space for all of them. Jack Grealish. There's not enough space for all of these guys. There really isn't. So if you're a young upcoming player, I'm surprised actually that Saka is still in with the mix with all of them players in there. That just goes to show you how highly they think of him.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, I've got some food to finish off now. I'm going to yam some plantain. I hope you guys are doing well, and I'll get back to you guys on the weekend. We'll try and do it this weekend, Yums. We'll try and do the Arsenal review this weekend, yeah?
Are you staying up to watch the NBA tonight?
Yeah, I am, yeah. Okay. For real, okay. I'm hoping for a Boston Celtics shock.
Wow.
I'm hoping for a shock. Do you know why? Because someone's got to shut Draymond Green's mouth, man. Someone's got to shut that brother's mouth. Did you hear him trying to stomp on KD? About KD leaving and your teammate nothing.
Yeah.
Someone's got to shut.
Yeah, look.
He gets paid for it.
You got to allow Draymond, man. Draymond's that guy. Leave him, let him do what, you know what I mean? He that guy. Leave him, let him do what he got to do.
Oh, man. All right, guys. Have a good one, man. Speak to you in the next one. Nice one.